Coach, at Fordham this week, they talk about their personnel and style of play and how we're going to match up with them.
Yeah, it's a unique style of play where they play. So it's something you kind of got to throw out everything that you typically do. And I told our guys yesterday, it's a game where players make plays. We're not going to be able to scheme them a whole lot of stuff just because the defense is, um, their defense is pretty unpredictable and they fly around. Got a good grad transfer, Hawkins, who came from Eastern Kentucky. He's their leading scorer. Antoine Anderson, one of their guards, lefty guards, has been playing really well as of late. So, we've got a challenge to prepare for their defense. They cause a lot of turnovers. They're third in the country in turnovers for. So, obviously, we need to value the ball and make sure we get shots on the basket. They play zone too. They play basically a run and jump man to man, and then they play a 1-1-3 zone. Both of them are very active. Both of them are trying to create turnovers.
For the last couple of years, Fordham has always been, they're a young team. And they're always loaded with freshmen and sophomores. Are they any more experienced?
Well, they've got Chartouni, who was the rookie of the year last year. He's a sophomore. He's playing well for them. They got the Hawkins kid, who's a senior. He's a grad transfer from Eastern Kentucky. He started out as South Florida. He's from Flint, Michigan. Started South Florida, then Eastern Kentucky, then to Fordham. They got Anderson. Antoine Anderson's a junior. So they've got a few more veteran guys.
You've been happy with the urgency you guys have shown since Davidson?
Yeah, we'll be fine. We just didn't have our best afternoon there. A couple different things didn't go our way, and that's life on the road and in league play. So you can't let one turn into two, and we got to turn around and go to Fordham.
A bit of a microcosm with Jack Gibbs and Peyton Aldridge and combining for 54 like that, and yet the stats pretty even across the board in that matchup as you move forward.
What do you mean?
Just because they're prolific scorers and you land 10, 2-on-1 team, and later in the league you may not run into that except for two more times.
We did a lot of stuff well enough to win. We just had some things that didn't fall our way. We didn't make enough plays, and we were up 51-50 with 6 minutes left. We've been really good. We work on 6-minute games all the time. We've been excellent in 6-minute games all year, but we gave up 19 points in that 6-minute game. We gave up 3 threes. We did some things that just really uncharacteristically we haven't done all year, and it ended up hurting us. So they've got two really, really good players, and we didn't do a good enough job guarding them. We gambled too much on Gibbs. We gave him 3 of his 4 threes where we just gambled and we're totally out of position. And Aldridge, we let him get going at the beginning of the second half. And you can't do that against solid teams on the road. It's certainly one we wish we'd have gotten, and we can't get it back, so we just got to move forward. Everybody in the league is going to lose road games in league, and you've got to respond the right way. And I always tell you guys we got to focus on the next most important thing. So that's Fordham, and we got to get moving towards Fordham. And we can't, there's a lot of things that we could rehash about Davidson, but no need to do that. Time to move forward. It's a fool's errand if you do that, just worrying about that stuff.
What's the significance of 6-minute games? Buzz Williams was talking Saturday about winning every 4 minutes. Is 6 minutes critical? Is that
I just think all league games come down to the last 6 minutes. Most league games are going to be 2 or 3 possessions in the last 6 minutes. We've got 3 rules that we try to abide by in the last 6 minutes with how we play, and 3 different things that happen. And we've been very good in those situations this year, and closing teams out and making things happen. And we couldn't get it. We couldn't get the momentum swung back on our side. Really, at Davidson, we took some uncharacteristic. We had some uncharacteristic possessions, and that hurt us.
What are the rules?
We've got 3 rules. Just very simple. We didn't follow them as well as we needed to on Saturday.
Like always say please.
No, not quite like that.
When you're facing
facing a team that forces that many turnovers a game, how much of it is focusing on yourselves and just ball security, and then kind of focusing on avoiding what they do?
Well, you've got to. You can't fall into their trap. You got to play with poise. You got to catch it and turn and face. You can't. They're banking on you turning your back and only looking one way or only going one way with the ball when you catch it. So you got to catch it, turn, face, have poise. You got to meet the ball. You can't just sit and wait for the ball to come to you. You got to meet the ball and make sure that make sure that the defense is having to come through your back. At worst, it's a foul, if they call it. What they call it, but at worst, that's what it would be. So you've got to be really tight with your details on that sort of thing. So it's more of a concepts game than a plays game. You got to be tight with your details and tight with your concepts and execute that.
Do you see this team maybe realizing a bit going into this Fordham game that try not to take those hero shots you always mentioned? I mean, Jaquan Lewis there in the second half seemed to be pulling up from long range a bit too much from my perspective.
I mean, we've talked about. We shoot 30% on first side shots. We shoot 45% on second side shots. We shoot 60% on third side shots when the offense turns over. All right, but rough numbers there. And we took 16 first side shots in the Davidson game, which is way too many. So we took 16 of the 30% shots. Well, 7 of those were in the last 6 minutes of the game. And when they took the lead, 52-51, we came down and had 2 first side possessions. So we don't give ourselves that's what I'm.
That's one of the rules.
No, it's not one of the rules. But,
Trying to get you safe.
it's not one of the rules. The rules are be solid on defense, which we gambled too much and got out of position. Make your free throws. And don't turn the ball over. Value the ball. Those are your 3 rules, Paul.
You're right, they're very simple.
Very simple. Anyway, you don't give yourself you talk about toughness a lot of you got to have toughness to turn that thing over, go to second and third sides and get the good looks that you want. Those numbers have played out for us all year basically at that. Now, in the Davidson game, we're 31% on first side, 44% on second side, and 71% on third side. But we only got 7 third sides. So, you've got to increase your numbers on that stuff, and we just didn't do a good enough job of that. And they did a good job. They knocked us off our rhythm. They chipped our roll guys, and so that knocked us off a little bit, and we didn't have quite the rhythm that we usually have. And they cut down on a couple of our reads on some throwbacks. That was difficult, but we still. We should have been able to throw it back. We should have been able to just battle through the chip down and been okay, but we weren't able to do that.
Take that as a really teachable moment for a number of different things, and maybe it's not so much, this is what went wrong, and here's how we could. You can say you want all you want in practice, but when it actually happens at a game, does it hit home more?
That's what we did yesterday, and we out-rebounded them. We played pretty much true. We just didn't. We missed a couple open threes that we had been hitting. We just the numbers and stuff. They have a good interior defense. We just didn't score enough. We didn't win. It was a road game in league play. That's what happens. Those are hard to win anywhere. So, and that's kind of what happens. And we didn't get it done, but we got to move forward and focus on Fordham and correct that stuff and get a little bit better.
How's Dariante's recovery going?
Oh, yeah, that's right, Tim. No, Tim asked yesterday on the conference call. I told him I'd update him today. It's going well. He had a good checkup yesterday. The screw's still in the right place, and he's able to put some pressure on the foot, and he's right on. He's right on schedule. Right on schedule. We'll know more in another 2 weeks. There's another checkup in 2 weeks, and then he's able now to kind of get in the pool and move around and do some things there, and then hopefully in 2 weeks he'll be cleared to do even more. but he's progressing well. He's doing what he needs to do.
Have people stepped up the way you were hoping that they might have in his absence, or is it still a process?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've had different guys, step up in different games. Maybe we didn't have as many step up Saturday as we needed, but we've had different guys, and I still think a lot of the guys we got can step up at different times and be the players that we need them to be to help us out.
Anything else, guys?
Off the topic here. Do you know much about one and done guys?
Huh?
Do you know very much about one and done?
No, we don't have to deal with
I
that.
know you don't. Maybe talking to the coaches. I just wondered. If you're a one and done guy, do you think those guys even go to class the second semester?
No, most of them don't.
So they're really one semester students?
Pretty much.
Are they really even students?
What are you getting at?
Oh,
We should adopt the baseball rule. The guys who are good enough to go one and done can go in high school.
But they can't because the NBA won't let
That's
them.
what I'm saying. Now the NBA doesn't want them, but if you come to college, you should have to stay for. I think baseball's 3 years, 2 or 3 years, whatever they decide. That's how it should be. But the ones who are good enough to go after 1 year of college, for the very, very rare occasions, the kid at Washington last year, Chris, would have been a different deal. Nobody, but 95% of the ones who are good enough to go at the first year of college are good enough to go out of high school. So just let them go out of high school, and then if you come to college, you got to stay for a couple of years.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to get at anything.
Okay.
I just find that I just been thinking. Look at there's a situation at Virginia Tech where the kid came in and played a semester, then said he was going to the NFL. So I'm guessing, and I don't know for sure. I have to check. He was there one semester. Is he really a Virginia Tech student? Is he a Virginia Tech person now? Or guys that go to Kentucky for?
Yeah, they're Kentucky people.
They're Kentucky people.
I think so. And they help their program. They play for them.
Are they really student athletes if they're not?
Sure they are for the time that they're there.
But they're there for 2 semesters, but you only go to class once.
Well, some of them go both semesters. Some of them don't.
Okay. The ones who don't are getting ready to go to the NBA.
Well, some of them go both semesters and go to the NBA.
Okay.
It depends. Every situation's different. I think Kentucky go both semesters and then go. I mean, their APR, their grades are good. I mean, their stuff's tight at Kentucky. So I mean, yeah, I think they're.
Will the time come when the colleges try to work with the NBA to get a rule similar to what baseball has?
They're trying now. But the NBA is trying to, everybody's trying to protect their own deal. It's hard to come to agreement.